The Louisiana Swamp is one of the most unique and beautiful places in the world, an ever-changing maze of bayous, marshes, and cypress trees. And the people here have built a culture around it that has introduced one of the most famous genres of food in the world. And in this video, I'm diving headfirst into South Louisiana swamp food culture. If it comes from the South Louisiana swamps, it's on the menu today. From some of the best oysters you'll find in the entire state, harvested fresh from these brackish, swampy waters. Then we head deep into the swamp to fish for something most people wouldn't ever think to eat, and try a homemade recipe that proves that around here, if it swims, crawls, or flies, it's on the menu. Finally, we're wrapping it all up at one of the most iconic restaurants in Louisiana, where swamp food cuisine is taken to another level. From gator to crawfish to dishes you've probably never heard of, this is where tradition meets bold, unforgettable flavor. And on this swamp tour of South Louisiana, I'm joined up once again with Eli from Toxin Custom Outdoors and Robert Moss, who is going to introduce us to how they do swamp food right here on the bayou of South Louisiana. I'm Dāv Kaufman. I travel to distant, exotic places and places a little closer to home to indulge in the culture and cuisine from the familiar to the extreme. There's always an open seat at my table for you, and sure, I'll pick up the tab. This is Dāv Kaufman Eats the World. So we're gonna start our South Louisiana swamp food tour right here in Lake Charles, Louisiana at this place. This is the world famous Shucks, and this is the Louisiana Seafood House. And it's here that we're gonna try one of Louisiana's most famous swamp foods, even though it doesn't come from a swamp. Here we're gonna try some oysters, which I guess grow in the saltwater swamps. Sort of. Kind of. Let's go in and get some oysters. This is the quintessential Louisiana restaurant where you can sit outside right on the edge of the bayou and, well, you might even get to see a gator or two here. And today we went for the Supreme Platter, which gives you a taste of the variety of oysters they have, which I'll explain in a minute. But first, we've been invited to the back to see how it's all prepared. So right over here is where they prepare all the oysters that we're about to have for lunch. Let's go check this out over here. It all begins right here in the shucking room, where all their oysters are still shucked by hand. Once the oyster meat is cut free from the shell, they are placed on a tray and passed off to the prep table in the kitchen. Once the oysters are prepped with the individual varieties, they are then brought to the grill to be thoroughly charboiled. Then after that, they are placed on a serving tray still piping hot, and with that, they're ready to serve. Okay, so with that, let's find out what's on this platter and finally try it all out. So Megan is our server here. Tell us what we got here.
So right here we have our house traditional oysters, and then these are the Rockefeller with like the spinach, the Parmesan cheese, and you move over right here and we have the roughneck, which has cream cheese, jalapeno, crumbled bacon on top. And then this one has our specialty sauce, our sassy sauce, so it'll give you a little bit of taste of that. And it also has a feta and blue cheese crumble along with it. Ooh. Right here we have our Supreme Oyster, which has the shrimp and crab meat covered in breadcrumbs with a little bit of our dill cream sauce. And then right here we have our Shuckafellow, which is our pasta sauce. It has pureed bacon and mushrooms inside of it. And so we use that on all of our pastas. It's like a carbonara based sauce. And then our delicious bread. So we have our oyster platter here. This actually looks good. You know, I'm from Minnesota. Sure. We don't have a lot of oysters, but this variety of oysters that we have, I have never had oysters like this before.
So I have never had oysters like this either. So this is going to be an experience for both of us. Whenever I eat oysters, it is usually raw. Yep. And so that's an acquired taste, definitely.
So let's dig into the candied first.
Yep, so this is the candied oyster with the sassy sauce, I think.
Candied oyster with saucy. Let's try this out. Oh,
that's really good.
That's really delicious.
You can taste the charbroil. I feel like the candied, the caramelized sugar. Is that what I'm getting?
That's what I was going to say, is that it's a very sweet, salty seafood. When you think about seafood, when you think about oysters, you don't think sweet, but no. It works. It's sweet and salty.
I don't know how it works, but it really does.
All right, next up, we're moving on to the roughneck.
Roughneck. Bacon, jalapeno, cream cheese, bell peppers, all sauteed down.
All right, let's try out the roughneck. Here we go.
Roughneck.
One other thing is I can catch where it goes. So like even if you don't do this,
Dude, that is spicy, bacony, creamy from that cheese.
I know we have more to go, but that's my favorite oyster I've ever had. The bacon just offsets everything, and then but I mean, really.
And then you get that heat from the jalapeno. This brings oysters to an entirely new level. You've got that rich savoriness of the bacon, the creaminess of that cheese, and then you've got that spice of the jalapeno. And underneath that, you get that salty flavor from the oyster itself. That is amazing. All right, so we're moving on to the Rockefeller, and the Rockefeller is unique to Louisiana.
Absolutely. It was first founded and created in New Orleans.
Okay.
Nolans.
Nolans.
So as the locals would say. And yeah, so this is actually, I've only had this once or twice whenever I was younger. So as an adult, this is my first bite.
This is the first bite.
Let's
take that. Let's take your first bite as an adult, my first bite ever. Here we go.
Cheers.
Very heavy on the spinach.
Which I think helps.
Mm-hmm. But I think it might be a little overpowering, for my taste anyway.
Yeah, you want to taste more of the oyster, right?
Correct.
So now you're an oyster lover, is what I'm
Right,
hearing.
you want that saltiness of the oyster to come through. And I think with this, that spinach really overpowers all the other flavors in this.
It's less of the ocean and more of the farm.
There it is. All right, so now we are gonna move on to the traditional.
This is the traditional with their special garlic butter blend topped with grated Romano cheese and Parmesan cheese.
Excellent. What I really kind of appreciate already just looking at this is all of that Parmesan cheese. I'm a sucker for Parmesan cheese.
Stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese, let's
Yeah.
dig in and try it out. Great.
That's cheese.
That's very cheesy.
It's like the oyster's there to stand up and make the cheese more cheesy.
But that oyster adds that salty
Nuance.
motion to it, the nuance, perfect word, and it just kind of accentuates all those other flavors in this
another good
clam
word.
bake.
Yeah.
I do have my moments.
Accentuate.
Accentuates.
Yeah, that's very
nuance.
good.
Yes. Yes, we are very sophisticated
The pinky
here.
is up, sir.
Yes, quite.
yes, let's talk back, shall we?
Yes. All right, moving on.
Okay, so this is the Shuckafeller, Oyster Shuckafeller, which is their special cream base topped with pureed bacon and mushroom.
Ooh.
Their cream base is also used inside of their pastas.
Let's try out
Let's do it.
the Shuckafeller.
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 I said that like a Minnesotan. Here we go. Let's try this out. Mmm. Huh? Huh?
That's the most oystery tasting one, and it doesn't allow the like fishiness, but it allows the seafood. If that makes any kind of sense.
Right. If you don't like oysters, you might not like this one. That one was just a little bit too oystery.
Okay.
Which is weird because we're eating oysters. All right, we've got one more to try out, and that's this bad boy right here.
This is the Oyster Supreme, which is charbroiled oyster topped with shrimp and crab meat, roasted bell peppers, sherry cream sauce, sprinkled with breadcrumbs, and baked to perfection.
Oh, this one
has got
could
it
be
all.
amazing.
This is it.
All right, let's try it out. Oh. Ooh.
That's all of Louisiana right there.
I was just gonna say, this one has all the flavors of Louisiana in it. You've got the crab, the shrimp, you've got the oyster, obviously, but the way that it's baked with those crumbs, that is the flavor of Louisiana right there. I think we have damaged this oyster bed today. What do you think was your favorite?
It's really this one. It's the Supreme.
It's the Supreme.
With a very, very close roughneck second.
Okay.
But the
Fair enough.
Supreme is definitely where it's at for me.
Fair enough.
How about you?
For me, I think it was the candied first, and then following that one up, it was the roughneck.
Roughneck for the win.
Those two.
Yep.
I like sweet things, but seriously, that combination of sweet and salty that was in the candied, that really resonated with me.
That caramelized sugar, right?
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
stuff.
So next up, we're gonna meet our buddy Eli. We're gonna go fishing for a particular species of fish that not a lot of people consider it to be good eating, but it is. Good old Louisiana swamp food.
And later that night, that's exactly what we did. Just as golden hour set in and the bite was on, we set up our rods along a river and sat and waited for a few hours before we finally caught a species of fish not a lot of people would ever dare try to cook up and eat.
Nope, no, he's swimming towards. That's good. Let's just gonna take what you can get when they swim towards you. You just keep ripping it.
Come on, baby. Oh, there he is.
Is he little?
Is that a bowfin? I don't know, but it
That looks like a big bowfin.
That is a big bowfin.
Look at it. He's just...
Hey Eli, you can grab that mono.
Gosh, that is a big fish. That's a pretty.
Man, I haven't caught a bowfin in a long time.
Neon green fins.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
During the breeding season, they get these neon green fins, which are
Oh,
super
wow.
pretty in the
Look
water.
at this.
Yeah, be careful, they do got some nasty teeth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they got nasty teeth and they got a very sharp gill raker up here, so you got to handle them like this. You just kind of slide your finger up under like that.
Oh yeah.
That's how you get
Perfect.
those.
It's a good one.
That's good eating.
Yeah,
too.
look at these neon green pectoral fins. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a nice looking bowfin.
There you go.
Well, at least we caught something.
Yeah.
So you eat these?
Oh yeah.
Let's
Would you
cook
like
this.
to cook them up?
Let's cook this guy up.
Perfect.
So it's the next morning. We're here with our catch from last night. There's that big old.
The shoe pick. Now down here we call them shoe pick. Some people call them shoe peak. But the more common term for them is bowfin.
Bowfin,
A lot
right.
of people call them bowfin.
So down here we've got my big bowfin that I caught last night and two smaller ones that somebody else caught. I don't know if you noticed this, Eli, but the fish that I caught is so much bigger
It is indeed.
than the
And
other fish that were
it's
caught.
prettier too because it's got those really pretty neon green fins. So that happens during the breeding season. I believe that means this one's a male.
Yeah, but the way that men compare ourselves to other men is not by beauty, it's by size. So now these are pretty bony fish.
Yes and no. I fillet them pretty similar to a bass, and I've never had to worry about
Oh, all right.
bones. These guys have a good bit of meat, but it has a very unique type of texture to it. That is a good sized fish right there, but you gotta watch out for those nasty teeth.
Nasty teeth.
They will get you. I have been bit by one of these before, and it tore my finger up.
Damn, okay. So we've got our table lined up over here.
Yep, I've got my cordless fillet knife right here, and after I wipe this fish slime off my hand, we'll go ahead and clean them up. Now these guys have a little bit thicker scales than like a bass or something else, so it does take a little bit more strength, but, oh, knife's locked. So these guys do take a little bit more strength than a bass, but once you get through them scales, oh goodness, look at that.
What is that, made out of cement?
Looks like it, but that's the size of those scales. You only see really the tips of them. So a lot thicker than something like a bass or a bluegill or crappie or something like that.
Good God, even an electric knife has troubles going through that.
Oh yeah. So these are very similar to something like a gar, and they're prehistoric fish. They are huge in the wild sometimes, and these guys can live for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they are extremely prehistoric.
Just like that,
Look at that, quick work.
right against that spine. And the only bones you really got to worry about are these rib bones right here. This fish is called cottonfish because the texture of it can be like cotton.
Oh, look
It's
at
got a
that.
really mushy texture.
weird.
So it's not flaky like most fish. It's actually got almost like a slimy, mushy consistency to it, which makes it perfect for the recipe we're gonna be making. I will just kind of cut along the ribs, just like that, and just scrape that meat straight out and put it in a bowl.
Oh man.
And so I want to watch out for them scales to make sure that's not included in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
But
that'd
other
be-
than that, you don't really have to worry about bones. And you can just sit there and pull that out by hand sometimes. It is a really unique fish. And that right there is the meat.
So now that Eli has basically filleted our bowfin, it's time to cook it up. So we're going right over here and we're gonna see how it's done.
We've got all of our meat cleaned up and ready. And we're gonna be doing something that I like to call bowfin tuna salad without the tuna.
So bowfin salad. So we bring it over here.
All right, so we got some butter in the bottom of the pan. We're gonna set this in the grill just to let it melt. That'll keep all the fish from sticking to this pan. And then we're gonna smoke this low and slow for a good little while until it's thoroughly cooked. We don't wanna overcook it, but this has a very interesting texture when it's finished cooking. There's gonna be a little bit of water that's all gonna evaporate out, but we're just gonna kinda flop it out. It does not look too appetizing just yet, but by the time we're done, it's gonna be nice.
All right, and then how long do we let this cook for?
So it depends. You want it to be nice and soft and not dried out, but with how low this heat is, you want it to absorb that smoky flavor. So I'm gonna check on it again in about 10 minutes and see if it's good. It's probably gonna be closer to 20 minutes.
All right, 20 minutes to bowfin tuna salad without the tuna. All right. So let's take a look and see where we're at here.
Now, it doesn't look too good yet. What we're gonna do is, now that most of that water's kind of evaporated out, we're gonna cover this with tin foil so it doesn't dry. This is not gonna be a very heavily seasoned fish. This is actually gonna be more relying on the other ingredients to make kind of like a tuna salad. So just like with a tuna salad, you don't put a whole bunch of seasonings in the tuna.
Yeah.
You let the other ingredients kind of mix together, and they're kind of the stars of the show. This is gonna kind of be a meat in the background.
Meat in the background, okay. All right, 20 minutes later, let's check in on this fish.
All right, should be nice and white. That's what we're looking for, just like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, there is still a bit of moisture in there. I'm gonna let it sit in here for about 2 or 3 more minutes without it being covered. Let it really soak up that smoky taste, and then it'll be ready to take off. So an interesting thing about bowfin is you can tell all of that. It looks like it's still that mushy stuff, but it is completely solid.
Look at that.
So we're gonna go ahead, set this aside, let it cool down, and then it can go into the next step of the process, which is mixing all of our ingredients together.
Excellent, okay. All right, now that we're done, we're gonna do the next step.
We're gonna take all of this and mix it up with some other ingredients, basically like you're making a tuna salad.
Now, what's interesting is that was like basically putty before it was cooked.
Yeah, and now it's got all the solids back to it. It's sticking together better, but it will fall apart and flake, kind of like a normal fish, which is exactly what we need. So let's go ahead and get our other ingredients.
Excellent. All right, so we've got our ingredients here.
Yeah, so basically we're just gonna be doing some dill relish, some mayo, and some mustard. And you mix it up like you would a normal tuna salad. Now we don't have any hard-boiled eggs, but you could add that too.
Okay.
And I kind of just eyeball this, give it whatever proportions I think it needs. I go a little heavier on the mayo, lighter on the mustard.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And now let me kind of squeeze out a little bit of mayo here.
Plop.
All right, now we mix it all up until it's nice and uniform.
So yeah, it whips together just like a tuna salad or a chicken salad.
Exactly. Now, I will be honest, this is not going to be as good as some of the other food you're going to eat down here in Louisiana. This is not so much like a staple. This is not something you're going to find in most Louisiana kitchens, but this is a good way to turn a trash fish into a good little treasure.
So we're gonna make a bowfin salad sandwich out of this.
Yep, just like you would a tuna salad sandwich. Now you could put this in the fridge and let it cool down. I don't mind eating it when it's still warm, but some people have that like temperature sensitivity and they like really like cold.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a little bit of a turn off for them, so you can just stick it in your fridge and let it cool down there. All right, we got a good bit. We're gonna spread this out and chow down.
All right. So you can tell that this is still hot. I've never had a hot tuna sandwich before. I do believe that they exist because that's a tuna melt. But we're not here to talk about tuna melts. We're here to try out this bowfin salad. You ready?
Exactly.
Let's try it out.
It's just, like I said, nothing special. It's just, you'd eat this for lunch when you just, you know, would want a tuna salad. There's nothing to write home about it. But
It's a much more mild flavor than I expected. Like a much more mild flavor. I expected this to be very gamey, very fishy. No, it's not.
yeah, and the thing is, the real thing about this that's interesting is not the flavor. It's just the fact that this is something that most people consider a trash fish.
Right.
You would not eat this.
Right, absolutely.
But eating it, it's just like, man.
This is interesting, not very flavorful, nothing, again, as you said, to
Nothing
write home about. But it is good old Louisiana swamp food. So we've come to our final place on our South Louisiana swamp food tour, and that's this place. This is Steamboat Bill's.
Steamboat Bill's is an icon in this part of the world. Starting with humble beginnings in 1982, there's now 4 locations of this local southern favorite place, each with a mood and a flair and a feeling that you are definitely in the heart of Cajun country. And it's here that I wanted to try a little of everything they serve. And while some might think we went a little overboard with that, I say it's just the beginning. So we got so many different items that are found on the Steamboat Bill's menu. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 7 items that we're gonna go through. Each looks just absolutely amazing. We're gonna start with this.
Crawfish pistolet.
Crayfish pistolet.
You said it, just crawfish pistolet. That's right. That's right.
Crayfish
Perfect.
pistolet.
Just like he said, crawfish pistolet. So Take a bite of that and see if that doesn't help that accent. So this is a fried roll, so that's that crunchy bread.
Oh yeah, I can feel
They
that crunchy
hollow
bread.
it out, they pull that out, and then they stuff it with crawfish étouffée.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
this is gonna be amazing.
You think so?
All right, let's try it out.
All right,
Ding.
cheers. Go ahead. I told you so.
I might actually be speechless. First of all, let's talk about that roll. To look at it, it looks like it's a dinner roll. It is not. That is crispy on the outside, very soft and chewy on the inside. But of course, the hero of this is that crawfish étouffée. Did you hear how I said that?
I did. We finally put some Cajun in you. I can hear
there
it.
it shall stay.
Yes.
So as I was saying, the hero is this crayfish étouffée.
You gotta take another bite. You gotta take another bite.
But it is so delicious.
What I love the most about this is that, as far as the crawfish étouffée, is it doesn't matter what you put it on, it's gonna be good.
All right, we're moving on to the boudin balls. Is it boudin or boudin? Because it's spelled I-N at the end, not A-N, but it's pronounced boudin.
So if we get on to how things are spelled versus how they sound, this is not the culture to really be nitpicking.
It's not.
So it's boudin. Boudin.
No N at the end.
Boudin.
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 Did I say it right?
Yep.
Crayfish.
That's right. No hard N.
Boudin. So if you don't know what that is, Robert will explain it.
So what a boudin ball is whenever you're stuffing boudin, and because it's hot while you're stuffing it, any of it comes out. What we do is we save that to the side. We put it in the cooler overnight, and in the morning, what they'll do is they'll scoop that up, make balls out of it, batter it, and then deep fry it.
Let's cut one of these open and see all that goodness inside. Whoa, yeah. That looks amazing. So what is in here? So you got white rice, you've got meat, you've got veggies, spices, pork.
A lot of times chicken liver is a pretty popular thing, but we don't talk about what's inside the food. We just talk about putting it inside our mouth.
Oh, so it's that kind of food. This looks absolutely amazing. This looks very uniquely Louisiana. Is that
Yeah.
fair to say?
Absolutely.
Let's try it out. Here we go. Ting. I'm telling you, there is a reason why I love South Louisiana food. First of all, there's a very savory flavor to this because most of the main ingredient is the pork, is the beef, but there are some spices in here that just kind of
Permeate almost, right?
just kind of punch you in the face, and that is the sign of a really good spice that kind of creeps up on you and then kapow goes in for the uppercut.
Yeah, for these, it's the crunchy outside with the soft center. You've got a lot of people, and then it's handheld. Who doesn't like handheld food?
Who doesn't like handheld balls?
Okay, you took it there, Dave. You took it there. And at that, I think that we should try the swamp fries.
Let's move on to the swamp fries. So this being a South Louisiana swamp food video, you could not have that kind of video without having swamp fries.
You know, this is the first time that I've had this. So, I mean, French fries are good, right?
Who doesn't
And
like French fries?
That looks like shrimp Creole, and you might not have had shrimp Creole, but I certainly have, and I know that's good. And then we've got the classic green onions and sour cream, so it's just good on top of good on top of good.
On top of even better. All right, I got a big fork full, lots of those fries, lots of big pieces of shrimp. Should we give it a try? A ting, here we go. My God, being that I am from Minnesota, I've had poutine because we're so close to Canada. I'm sorry, all my Canadian friends.
The
These
South does
swamp
it better.
fries outdoes any poutine I've ever had. I think if you're watching from Canada, maybe, put a little shrimp on your poutine, you're gonna come close to this. But again, you've got those spices in this that kind of creep in afterwards. That's one of the things that I love about Cajun food is it's that spice.
It's one last bite back You know?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. One last bite back. And on that note, we're moving on to the alligator bites. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, then you may recall the swamp food video that I made from South Florida, aptly called South Florida Swamp Food, where we went to a couple of places that served gator bites, and I asked them where their gator is sourced. Surprisingly, it was all sourced right here in Louisiana, and therefore I anticipate that these gator bites on this plate are going to be a little bit more fresh tasting than those in Florida. Here, these are farm fresh. They put them in batter and then they deep fry them for about 3 minutes, and I bet these are going to be the freshest gator bites that you can get anywhere in the country.
Source local, Louisiana alligator, hard to beat.
Let's dig in and try it out. What is this sauce?
So that is a sauce that is white, that is served with the gator bites, that we should maybe try, I think.
Is there a name for it? Louisiana mystery sauce?
The Louisiana white sauce.
Louisiana white sauce.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna.
Gotta get some comments on that one. All right, we're gonna dip this in, get some of that Louisiana white sauce in there. All right, let's try out these gator bites. Here we go. Right off the bat, I'm right. These taste very different than the ones you get in Florida. The ones you get in Florida are kind of rubbery, simply because they have been frozen, shipped, again, processed in Florida. These are so tender and are filled with so much flavor.
I had to try another one because alligator that I've had around here as well. But it's not just about sourcing, it's about knowing how to cook it.
Exactly.
And these guys over here have been doing this for a long time. And just one more, hang on.
I'm
just to
gonna do
make
one
sure.
more.
This is my third one, so if it's 3 out of 3, then I'm gonna say for sure.
This is 2.
Okay.
These are the best gator bites I've ever had.
I mean, actually, me too.
These are almost melt in your mouth. Being a reptile guy, obviously, I feel a little guilty eating gator. This, I don't really feel guilty eating this. I mean, this is farm raised right here in Louisiana. Again, it can't be more fresh than right here from farm to this restaurant.
You know, I didn't even think about that as far as me being a reptile guy as well until you said it, and then I'm like, no, it's good.
It's good. It's good. I mean, it's not like we're out there eating parrots or snakes.
You cook a parrot like this? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Robert Wanapali?
I mean,
we got so much food. We could be sitting here all night enjoying all of this, but we are moving on to the shrimp stuffed potato.
This is obviously baked potato, your traditional baked potato. Add the extra butter and everything. Baked potato on bottom. Then they're gonna add their butter and everything, cheese. But then they're gonna top it with that shrimp Creole. And then just to put the extra Louisiana on top, fried shrimp to add some texture to that potato, because everything else is creamy. I suspect that crunch of that shrimp on top is really gonna set it off.
100%. This is a Louisiana stuffed potato right here. All right, let's dig into this. Look at that bowl. Oh, that is so cheesy. I don't think that you can ever have enough cheese on anything. Like things that you wouldn't think that you could put cheese on, you can't have enough cheese on it.
Sure. I like that with my jokes too.
Yeah,
cheesy jokes.
Cheesy jokes. Cheesy jokes are the best kind of jokes. So I've got a fork full of not only the shrimp that's in this Creole, I've got a fried shrimp on top, I've got some of that baked potato. Let's finally give this a whirl. Here we go. This is absolutely amazing. Absolutely. I don't think in all the food that we have had over the past 3 days that we've been filming for this channel, I don't think I've had something that was just kind of meh, except, you know, of course for the bowfin. But each individual dish that you can get at a place like this is, I mean, out of this world. Like, so many flavors that are so unique to this area of Louisiana. And this is why that Cajun cooking is so world famous. It's because of dishes like this. All right, moving on to our second to the last item. We are almost belly busted over here, but we're gonna keep going because each dish has been a taste sensation of its own. We can't stop now. We're moving on to the catfish.
One of my personal favorites. This is catfish atchafalaya. This is a bed of white rice and then a deep fried catfish fillet, that flaky catfish meat, fillet meat, and then shrimp Creole topped on top with a pistolette on side to mop up the leftovers.
I've got a fork full of that catfish, a little bit of shrimp, all that sauce, some of the rice. Let's dig in and try it out. Ting! Out of all the dishes that we've tried so far, leaving the crayfish for last.
Crawfish.
This one is not my favorite. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
But that batter doesn't have that spice that hits you at the end that I have come to love about South Louisiana Cajun food.
Okay.
I'm not a big fish eater to begin with.
Okay.
I do like catfish. I do like fried catfish. This is good, but comparatively,
okay,
not my favorite of the
okay.
day. We have one more dish to get to here at Steamboat Bill's, and that is the coup de grace. So maybe you've already seen the crayfish from crawfish. So maybe you've already seen the crayfish farm to boil video that I've either already put up or is coming, but we have kind of eaten our weight in crayfish this entire trip. This is a whole big plate of more crawfish.
Yes.
We are going to dig in and try out this crayfish. This is the biggest crayfish, crawfish, mud bug I have ever seen. I'm gonna eat this one.
If you grab the biggest one, you say it right. All right.
All right, I've grabbed the biggest crawfish. The biggest?
There, you can do big, you can do big, you can do extra large. What in charge doesn't matter.
Hey,
as long as you say crawfish.
Let's dig in and try out the crayfish.
Crawfish.
Ooh.
How's that?
Ooh. Now that has a nice spice to it. So the way that they prepare this here at Steamboat Bill's is very different than they prepare this in other restaurants all around Louisiana. So the way that they prepare this and let it sit in that soaker back there, it literally, all this meat absorbs all of those spices. It's not just spiced on the outside and you get some residual spice. That meat is infused with all of those spices. That is absolutely amazing.
I've cooked crawfish, but not for tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people.
That's true.
You know, so most of the time whenever you've got a place that's as popular as this, the quality might, you know, not here. They've got this right. The food is
great.
They've
got this down to a
They really
science.
do. It's an art, it's a science. Yeah, as well as an art. Like, this is good. This is Southern hospitality in a crawfish.
Southern hospitality in crayfish form. But look, I mean, even the claws on these guys.
Look, I just
huge.
pulled this off the arm. Let me see if we get a pull from the.
Yeah.
Almost. I'm gonna have to crack it open. Oh, there we go. We got a little bit.
It's too meaty. These claws are so big. There's so much meat in these claws. This is my favorite part of the crayfish. Actually, is the
crawfish.
Claw. Yeah, that meat is super sweet. Let's try this out.
I'm gonna prescribe a bite of claw to help that crawl.
Oh yeah.
That crawl coming out.
Sweet and spicy. That is some good old crawfish.
Yes, sir.
Did I do it?
You did.
I did it.
That was great. I'm proud of you.
I will never say it the Minnesota way again. So, Robert, thank you so much for yet another video, being my tour guide, showing me and all of us why South Louisiana has some of the best food in the United States and why it is so famous, and this is why. I gotta come back down here. We gotta do this again.
I would enjoy that. I think so.
So guys, if you're hungry for more, check out that video right there. If you're starving for more, check out that playlist right there. Please do not forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna finish this entire plate of crayfish. No correction? Nothing?
Crawfish. I was busy stealing the crawfish.